Welcome to the program, Mr. Kasyanov.
Thank you.
Tell me what on earth is going on in the mind of the president of Ukraine. He has gone to this summit in Vilnius, and yet he is not joining up or signing on to this European trade deal. Why not?
I think that we shouldn't see this as a cancellation overall policy vis-à-vis deeper integration with the European Union. I think the issue is very simple. Mr. Yanukovych, president of Ukraine, has pressure from the East, from Vladimir Putin in particular, and not enough of promises from the West.
I mean, let's face it, Ukraine is in about the 5th year of a bad recession. The currency is near collapse. As you said, it's got no IMF lifeline, huge debts and burdens. Surely it would have been more useful to join the EU free trade. What is the pressure that is coming from Putin and why?
First, to join free trade zone with the European Union, it means a long-standing position, that is strategic position. It's a strategic choice. But next year, current problems, payments, and great big deficit of the budget. And when there are no promises, I think just those people who are not prepared to take risks for the reforms, which usually politicians take in the West, and they got afraid. But I think it's absolutely clear for me that in 2015, in March 2015, there will be presidential elections in Ukraine. And for Mr. Yanukovych, that's the only chance to be elected, that's to join this agreement. It means that was only postponement of signing. I'm sure that next year, 2014, Mr. Yanukovych and the whole government of Ukraine will sign this agreement, and that will be the beginning of presidential campaign.
Why does Putin want Ukraine in its sphere right now? Why does Putin want to take on these massive debts, the collapsing currency, all these protesters from all over the country who want to join Europe? Why does Putin want Ukraine to be more allied with Russia than with Europe?
The problem is that Mr. Putin changed his policy. When we were together, I was in office, our priority on foreign policy was also deep integration with the European Union.
That was his first term.
And with his first term, and I was in the Prime Minister's office. And we moved towards this direction. And we led the whole process. Ukraine was together with us. Then suddenly, Mr. Putin, 1 year after my departure, just changed his policy and appeared to be that European Union not just a friend but competitor, if not to say just to use more strong word on that. That's why just in his policy to move in different direction, he tries to secure Ukraine together with Russia.
So tell me, what is going on? Let's have a status report on what's going on inside the political machinations of President Putin. Why has he changed so dramatically? Why do we have this repression of political rights in Russia? Why do we have the arrest of the 30 Greenpeace activists, the anti-propaganda law, which is causing such a problem maybe for the Sochi Olympic Games, arresting Pussy Riot and putting them in jail? What is happening inside Mr. Putin's head right now?
The problem is Mr. Putin made a dramatic mistake in 2004 and 2005. Then instead of try to be elected as he did in the year 2000, in 2004 that was already manipulation. 2008 that was manipulation of appointing Mr. Medvedev, just temporarily occupying the post of president, etc. And since that time, we don't have elections in Russia. We have imitation of elections. That's a crucial mistake. And in this policy, Mr. Putin, since 2005, didn't pursue any reform. Russia badly needs reforms because the structure of economy and the position in the economy is very fragile. As soon as oil prices fall down, it will be social disaster. Even with this high oil price, we have problems now. We have no GDP growth. We have already for a year no growth of industrial output. We're facing big problems next year already. Mr. Putin, that's responsible for that. He just lost the, I would say, gold period when oil prices and gas prices were high. And Russia could achieve a lot and could jump up in its development. Simply, those money were eaten. And just we have such, I would say, undertakers, as you correctly described, just political prisoners appeared again, like in Soviet Union. That's absolutely wrong direction. And Ukraine suffering because of this, because of change of policy internally and externally.
You're a politician, you're still politically active. Where do you see the hope for any kind of democratic, reasonably transparent representative politics taking place right now?
Me and my party partners, we absolutely have no doubts that the only way is peaceful transformation. Peaceful transformation means elections. We don't have elections. We achieved a little bit. My party finally has been registered, but not because of desire of Mr. Putin, but because of decision of European Court of Human Rights. We continue to consolidate democratic opposition, and it's a difficult process, but we're doing this. Next year will be Moscow Duma city council elections, which is important, could be ranking number 4, and we consolidate, we built a coalition, and I think we have a chance to do this. And I don't believe that Mr. Putin already just lost his, I would say, mind in terms of making himself as a dictator, full dictator. I don't think he will stand forever, as in our history sometimes happens. I think he should think about exit strategy, and we can help him to build it up.
The Ukrainian president refuses to free the jailed opposition leader, Yulia Tymoshenko. She's now gone on hunger strike in support of these protesters. What is the future of dissent, human rights, people like Tymoshenko who want to challenge the system, whether in Ukraine or in Russia?
I think in Ukraine that's a little bit easier situation than in Russia. Unfortunately, we now just have political prisoners. That's we can say that peaceful demonstrators of 2012, which already more than 1 year in jail, without any special, I would say, incrimination, and they did nothing to be in jail. Pussy Riot group also, these girls in jail for nothing. And many other scientists and even businessmen, Mikhail Kasyanov, for instance, continue to be there. That's why we believe that political prisoners exist in Russia. Mr. Putin doesn't want to admit that. But the problem is Russia is a full member of the Council of Europe. And Russia ratified European Charter of Human Rights, European Convention of Human Rights and Political Freedoms. And Russia right now doesn't implement any of those positions. That's what the question is to European leaders. Why Mr. Putin managed to get a special ticket not to implement international obligations? If in other European countries some problems appear, immediate reaction visible. If in Russia continue everyday violations take place, nothing takes place. Russia is a strong country. Of course, Russia supplies a lot of natural gas, but that should not be some kind of compromise. That people, leaders should not close their eyes on those violations in Russia. And that's why there should not be, I would say, compromise on principles.
On that note, former Prime Minister Kasyanov, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
Thank you.